New Year's Eve, everyone. This is More Than Mises Guys. I'm Evan. I'm here with Boo. We're going to do another couple of these storybooks, GoBots, The Seas of Kalsharan, and
Weeds of Calcaron.
Weeds. Sorry, the Weeds of Kalsharan. Yes, their seeds come into it. And When Continents Collide,
Yes.
the Transformers Kid Stuff book. And boy, you have some things to say about that.
You keep your seed to yourself, mister. I know it's New Year's, but I'm not that kind of girl.
You say that now.
Get a couple of drinks in me and we'll see.
Yeah, man. So, let's get into this, man. Challenge with the GoBots, Weeds of Kalsharan. I guess it's Kalsharan. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Kalsharan?
saying Calcaron, but it could go
Kalkaron?
either way.
Sure.
We don't have
Ky-
the audio for this, so we don't really know. I looked for the audio and
well, we know Psykill sounds rad. That's all I can
yes,
tell you.
oh, yeah.
Besides that, I mean, yeah. So it starts out. Braxis and Psykill are having a fun day in Thruster. They're
Oh,
like
yeah.
just they're having a good old time, like flying around through the galaxy. Braxis like looks way more hawkish. His facial features, he looks very pointed. Well, more avian face than usual, but Psycho's missing his domino mask. So,
Yeah, he's got the toy deco for his
uh
face. But
yeah,
yeah,
what's like
Braxis has definitely been moonlighting as Ebenezer Scrooge over the holidays.
well, he also moonlights as Dr. Smith in this book too.
Oh yeah, you know what? He looks like Dr. Smith as played by Christopher Lee.
Yes, he. Oh God, I'm trying to think of a line by Dr. Smith from Lost in Space. By the way, everybody.
You
Um,
bubble-headed booby. That's like probably his biggest one.
think of Christopher Lee saying that you bubble-headed booby.
Booby.
So,
It'd be a lot more menacing, I think, from
oh yeah, well, yeah. I don't think anyone can pull off Christopher Lee except for Christopher Lee.
yeah.
But yeah, so man, there's a Psykill shows Braxis this computer screen with these weird like green like tentacle things on there with teeth. He's like, what is that? He's like, you didn't clean your browser
It's
history.
called hentai.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the overfiend, Braxis.
You'll learn all about him on this trip, Braxis. We call him Euroskadoji, but you may call him whatever you'd like. So yeah, he
You can
does.
call him daddy.
Yeah, you're gonna call him daddy. There's there's a, but the other it tells them that they are from a rather unpleasant planet called Kalsharan, and they're
Sure.
weeds, dude. I don't know, man. I'm okay with I like Clover. I'm not dealing with these guys though. This is bad. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so Psykill starts messing with the receiver controls and Brax's face screws up. It's like he makes it sound like Braxis is going, ugh. And they shows him a video of the planet Calcaron, or we'll call it Calcaron.
Sure that
Uh,
works.
yes, under a dense atmosphere that made it look like Twilight all the time. Yeah, I mean, he tells Braxis they're as deadly as they appear, and they survive in that thick atmosphere because they filter moisture from the vaporous fumes of the planet. They get minerals from squeezing the abandoned machinery left behind by humans, and they get vitamins by eating everything like metal, plastic, and flesh.
Yeah, it says metal, plastic, flesh, anything.
Anything.
And the storybook describes them as white, but they're illustrated as green.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought maybe there's a whoever colored it just took their own liberties with that.
hey, they're plants. So,
Yeah, the green.
yeah.
I mean, they've been absorbing this green twilight vaporous fumes from Calcaron.
I think someone was looking at like bean sprouts because that's kind of what they look like. They look like bean sprouts with little teeth on them.
Oh yeah,
You know, if they were white, they'd really look like bean sprouts a lot. So,
they actually would, and but yeah, that or the Overfiend's looking real sick.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, they're gonna. Psykill tells them they're gonna drop seeds around the command center,
right. And the
and
command center isn't the spaceship
no,
walker thing like, the toy is. It's
Mhm.
just like a complex of buildings.
Yeah, it's like a almost like a command. It's a command center, yeah, it's almost like an office building kind of complex.
It's a headquarters, yeah.
Yeah, think of it like the Avengers complex.
It's the Guardian Business Park.
That actually seems about right because it's so boring around there.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool if it was exciting as the Avengers compound, but no. It's just like it's like when you go on the edge of town and they've converted an old airfield into like office buildings and it's just cement and ugly
Right. One of
with
them
a
used to
few.
be a Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it still has the top on it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so Psych Hill, they go to start doing the seeds. So it says Psych Hill wears the disguise of a mo military cycle.
Yeah. He's not very military looking. I mean, he's just
Yeah,
his regular motorcycle mode, but
yeah. Then again, like whoever wrote this probably wrote the script and they just kind of animated how they thought they should do it. They're not going to
yeah.
change the toy for from someone's writing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
they
that would
drop.
have been a really cool redeco of
Oh
Psykill
yeah,
as like a military bot. He could have cruised around with Jeeper Creeper.
throwing people off.
Right.
And you have what Copter is also going around and dropping seeds all around. And
Johnny
so
Appleseed over
yeah,
here.
yeah, he is. Man, it killed me too. I told you yesterday. I was just randomly thinking about the episodes of GoBots, and
Hmm.
I thought, oh my God, Copter is Grape Ape.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Bob Holt. It's the same voice actor.
Just a random thought occurrent. I was doing something completely random, and I was just like, wait a second, Grape Ape. Co- Yeah, dude. I sent you that, and you're just like, yeah. You didn't know that? And like, no, no idea. But then again, it makes sense because he did a lot of stuff with Hanna-Barbera.
Right.
A
Yeah, they're
lot
both
of voice.
Hanna-Barbera, and I mean the voice isn't that far off.
Oh God, no, it's a little more I guess it's not as deadpan. I don't know.
Copter is a little more eloquent than Grape Ape because Grape Ape just kind of said his name a lot.
Yeah, this is not saying a lot because Copter is not exactly elegant. Or yeah.
Does that mean Grape Ape is a Pokemon? Because he just goes around saying his name all the time.
You know, I can't argue that logic. So they
Must be one of those later series.
yeah. So next day Matt is outside with Dozer and sees AJ while she's working in the garden. She's just
And
like,
Dozer's just Dozer this time. He's not
yeah,
GoBot Dozer. He
yeah,
actually,
that was a dumper. That was go by dumper.
oh, oh, Dumper. That's right. Yeah, GoBot Dumper. Yeah, Dozer this
Oh,
time is, yeah,
yeah, the little orange bulldozer
the
tractor.
bulldozer. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they're working and they notice strange plants growing fast and I like they turn away to talk about it. They turn back and it's already growing like another foot.
Yeah, because Psykill, like, twirled his mustache and he used a special chemical to speed up their growth. So instead of taking months to grow, they'd spring up overnight.
Oh, that hubris.
Yes.
So yeah, they notice strange plants and they're growing fast and they attack AJ and eat her spade.
Yes.
They survive by like taking vitamins for everything, metal, whatever.
Yeah. And they go to work on everything.
Yeah. And they instantly know that Dr. Braxis and his band of renegades are responsible. Like, wait a second. When did Dr. Braxis become the leader with his band of renegades?
That's just, that speciesist.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh,
this.
the human must be in charge of the robots.
Makes total sense. No, total
Well,
sense.
and I guess in their defense on the Guardian side of things,
Huh?
it seems like the humans are running the show.
It kind of does. I mean, I get they're the ones who are actually doing anything. Like he's driving Dozer and he gets in leader one,
Yeah.
who's actually what royalty.
Yeah, royalty. He's drawn like royalty.
Yeah, he's royalty being the Harrier jet.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's like a British Harrier jet deco.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
is.
Actually, one of my favorite of my old GoBots I used to have had these pretty interesting transformations. So
And did you notice the regular trees and stuff around the command center look like Dr. Seuss
they
trees?
do.
Like the
They
Lorax is going to come out and like confront the weeds of Calcaron.
yeah, and so like they're shooting sorry, leader one starts shooting at the weeds. It doesn't really nothing to them, and they try to grab 'em out of the sky. So
Yeah. They eat a Jeep too, which looks a lot like Jeeper Creeper. I was a little
yeah.
worried there for a second.
No man, he would not stood for that.
Yeah, he wasn't going to sit around and let a bunch of plants eat him.
But they're hoping to saw the blades, the stems, like saw them in half with the saw blades. He gets too close, and the weeds grab at him, but then suddenly they lurch and shrivel.
Yeah.
So what happens? And they give a really quick explanation in the end. Turns out they're by speed of the growth cycle has made their life cycle super short.
Yeah, so he was self-defeating.
Essentially, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I love the end of this because there is this bonfire. It looks like some DEA bust
Oh
bonfire.
yeah.
It's like they're taking down the cannabis fields and burning them in a big pile. That's what it looks like. And there's Matt and AJ just like, yeah, we did it. You didn't do
They're
anything.
standing downwind.
Yeah, you didn't do a thing, man. You were just there. So that's actually the really quick and
It was, yeah, real
it was super
fast. There
simple.
was a mention of arsenic soup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, Agatha Christie would love this one.
Yeah, she would. They I mean it was fine. It was kind of boring. Nothing wrong with it, I guess.
It was a short little story
Yeah.
for them. Yeah, the Guardians didn't even have to be there at all. This was all. I mean, Matt and AJ didn't even have to be there.
Yeah.
It was like Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark because Indy didn't have to be there for the story to complete itself.
They would have gotten to that island, they would have killed themselves in the end.
Yeah, we just wouldn't have known what happened.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
top men wouldn't have had it in their warehouse.
which
Top.
I really
Yeah.
think that Cykill could have avoided all this if he'd just done a test run somewhere else.
Yeah, you think you like, hey, being that we're both people of science, whenever you conduct an experiment, you don't conduct it on a huge, massive area. You start small. You're like, okay, I'm going to try this in a controlled environment.
Yeah,
Nope. Psycho's like, nah, I'm doing it all at once. I got these boxes of seeds, man. We're going to spread them everywhere
yeah.
that I
And then
altered.
something else I noticed when Matt was flying in
Huh?
Leader One,
Leader one.
he looked an awful lot like a certain German chancellor.
He did. He really did. I've got a nice screenshot of that for the video.
Yeah,
No,
that'll
okay,
get you demonetized.
yeah, exactly. So
But
someone
yeah,
who
that
who like
drawing's a little
someone who
too
might like
close.
someone I think probably someone who likes to play Yahtzee a lot. That's definitely the kind of person. That and he looked like Punch from Chips in one thing, like the mustache.
Yeah,
There and of course AJ was maybe Southern Asian. He sure wasn't black. I can tell you
yeah.
that.
You know who Matt looks like in some of the pictures? He looks like Brack's dad from the Brack show.
I'm trying to remember what his dad looked like.
He was like a tiny, like Ricardo Montalban.
That's right. Oh, he kind of
Yeah,
does actually.
yeah.
Oh God. He kind of does.
And not the con version either. Like
No.
yeah,
Yeah, no. He kind of does look like that. Well,
yeah,
good on you, I guess, Matt. And that the Brack's mom is, quite the catch.
yes.
Too bad about your son, but yeah. But
Well, he
okay,
supports him nevertheless.
yeah. So that was the weeds of Calcaron.
Yeah,
And if we had the audio, we'd at least know how to say it. But there we go. Your mileage may vary. Calcaron. So whatever. We know what you're talking
potato, potato.
about. Euroskidoji, Overfiend, same diff.
Right.
Um, so then we're going on to a very problematic story when continents collide.
On a very special episode of Transformers.
This is okay. This came out with I'm assuming like 85, 86, right?
Yeah, this is like I want to say like 85.
Probably 85, yeah.
Yeah.
So when this came out, do you remember something that happened was real bad off the Alaska coast? Had to do with a
Oh
certain,
yeah. This was a few years after that. That was like 89. Yeah.
yeah, but I just the brazen, yeah, it wasn't right at that time, but the brazen
They mentioned the
abandon,
location.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Valdez, Alaska,
Yes. The
and
Exxon Valdez.
yep, And the fact that they don't care what they shoot and destroy and where it's at. Environmental concerns? Nah, not the
Yeah.
Autobots.
In these books, the Decepticons are more deadly than they were probably in any other media.
They are, and not even by their own, I don't know, not even by their own hand. They're just incompetently, I don't know.
They just don't care.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They're definitely not green energy fans in this.
Yeah. I think the only thing in Transformers media that has a higher human body count was the Swarm.
Yeah, I mean, God, that's actually kind of true.
Yeah. But yeah, these little uh kid stuff Decepticons are not kid stuff
No, they're
because
not.
they don't have the kid gloves on at all.
No, they don't.
Yeah, and this is another one of the book slash cassette slash record sets that came with it came packaged with Satellite of Doom.
Okay, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So yeah, this also not Greg Berger being the voice of Soundwave is what we're
Yeah, it's
thinking.
not
Yeah,
Greg Berger.
it sounds a lot like what he would do though for like a regular guy's voice.
He kind of had a almost like a Skyfire-ish sound
Yeah,
to his
yeah.
voice sometimes, so that's why I inquired of him and he said, "Nope, never worked for those guys."
Weird how he
So,
said it that way.
yeah, and the problem is they didn't credit any of their voice actors.
None. Well, I
So,
mean, I'm sure like voice actors for the most part when they work for him, probably not. They didn't care. It wasn't like it probably wasn't a union job. It was
I was
probably
going to say that this was not a union job, or there would be credits. They
yeah.
wouldn't they have to be credited if it was union?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We think so, but I don't know.
And I
But
almost wonder if like some of the guys they just like, oh, grab, Bill from accounting. Hey,
hey,
read this.
you like reading stuff, right? Yeah, I
You
do,
can read,
sir.
right?
You're Soundwave. Okay, I'll do my
What's a
best, sir.
sound wave?
You're a cassette robot. I like cassettes. I'll do that.
He's like, oh, a fancy new cassette. Oh yeah, it's a micro cassette. So yeah, and we have more toy based and box art based illustrations. They, didn't go too far off the model for the box art.
They didn't. The one thing that you do notice is neither Megatron or Soundwave have their guns on them. Like
Yeah,
Soundwave usually has the shoulder launcher, and Megatron usually has his fusion cannon in his arm. Neither of them are there in this.
I think they just didn't have time to get that detailed with it.
I don't think they have the room in this panels.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
It's
kind of
tight.
cramped.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, these immediately start with the nefarious duo of Soundwave and Megatron, who have stolen a hovercraft oil transporter from the humans. And apparently this thing is supposed to be bigger than 200 super tankers put together.
Yeah, it's massive, and I mean this is definitely far more advanced than human tech was back, in the 80s.
This is like the Avengers hovercraft ship.
Yeah, or like the Shield helicarrier.
Shield helicarrier, thank you. Shield
Yeah,
heli. Yeah.
it looks kind of like a cross between that and almost Battlestar Galactica,
It kind
like
of
the old
does.
one. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it kind of does, except like he had turbines in the middle of it. Yeah.
yeah. That's where it's kind of like they got a mix. This is Exxon's answer to Shield.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be Roxxon's,
Too bad they're terrible. Uh,
right?
so they show up and they he'd say, "Hey, Soundwave, cut the power," and they put these pylons through the ice and stuff into the ground, and
It has a laser auger on it.
yeah,
You know where we last saw a laser auger, right? On Challenge of the GoBots when
that's
they were
right from the command center,
command center was drilling through the ice, just like here.
stolen all of it.
Yeah, they're
But
cribbing it straight from the GoBots.
so there is supposedly this is 200 super tankers size.
Yeah. So yeah, this thing is enormous and it flies. Like this
Yeah.
is the largest flying machine that mankind has ever developed.
And it goes like it lands over top of this oil refinery, like I guess switch house or whatever
Yeah, this is like the 80s answer to the Spruce Goose.
kind of is.
Yeah.
Except if it's that large, this is a huge, huge oil refinery. Like,
Right. That thing is just massive, and it's human built. It's not. They should have just went with this was like some kind of Decepticon tech because this is way too advanced for
yeah,
humanity even now.
they built it under the ice somewhere and brought it out.
Yeah.
Of course, also it is Decepticon sized for the controls.
Right.
So
Yeah.
don't
It's
do that. So yeah, the
yeah. They
human.
were funding this like Schonberger funded this or something. I don't know.
He would have much better looking stuff at least. Uh,
Right. So they bribed a human to help them
and
steal this hovercraft.
how do they bribe the human?
They give him a Jeep.
Weird. That Jeep
Yeah.
looks really familiar, but it's
Oh
never
yeah.
referenced again. What kind of is?
Yeah. And then there's these like plain white generic Decepticons
Oh yeah.
down below, like hooking up the pipeline.
Are they supposed to be
And
like the Seekers or something?
no, they're not.
No, they're
These
not. I
guys,
know they're not.
yeah,
I think someone on some site referred to them as Seekers.
yeah, these guys are far from Seeker. Like, if anything, they look almost like white versions of like Rumble and Frenzy.
Yeah, that, or I was even going to say Reflector.
Yeah, they're just blocky
Yeah,
guys. There's like
generic
no real
guys.
details on them. I think the gun one of them is holding looks kind of like the cassette robot's gun, so like
Which would have made a
Frenzy and
lot of
Rumble's
sense
gun.
because,
So
Soundwave here.
yeah, but they're not named, and they didn't even bother coloring them. They're
No.
in their Arctic camo, I guess, because they need to hide from the guy they bribed.
With
Because there
that.
is no one else here.
Yeah, bride with the Jeep that looks suspiciously
Or
green.
is there someone here?
Yeah, this dude walks out, looks at the ship, looks at them. All right, and go back inside.
Oh yeah.
You seen Jaws before, right?
Oh yeah.
So the guy who's he's kind of like the harbor master when they're all the people are like piling boats and stuff. He walks
Yeah.
out with his coffee, like looks around. Hmm. He turns around, he walks back inside. That's what I figured this guy's doing. Is like, this is nuts. I'm going back inside.
Yeah, this guy is severely underdressed for the Arctic anyway.
Yeah,
It looks like
it's
he's
it's just suspenders, maybe, not
yeah,
not even that.
that, and it's like he's wearing denim with maybe like a little fleece around the neck, but
He's definitely a he's part of the thing.
yeah,
He's not living.
he's built for like Minnesota in like autumn.
Oh yeah, so they fix that giant hose to the pump relay station to start process of extraction. And Megatron commands Soundwave to like increase the flow, even amidst warnings from Soundwave. He's like, "No," but Megatron like so he gets mad and he says he wants the flow. He want and the flow goes to a trickle out of Valdez, Alaska.
Yeah,
So that's the terminus of the pipeline. Apparently, there is so much pressure being pumped out of this relay station that there's hardly any oil coming out of Valdez. You think terminus being the end of the run.
right,
And so of course that makes the oil company be like, "Whoa, something's up with this." If I were them, I would assume there's a massive leak somewhere.
right. That's what you would think
Yeah.
that the pipe had burst somewhere, which I guess technically there is a breach in the pipe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but nobody notices the giant, hovercraft.
Nobody looks up the caribou and
Yeah.
this dude here in this pump relay station.
He's not looking. He's looking at his shiny new Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. With he makes holograms.
Yeah. I think he'd rather have like a snowcat. I
You
think.
would think, right? With how much snow's around, and yeah, yeah, you're
He's
not
just
driving
waiting to go off-roading when the thaw hits.
when that thaw never hits.
Yes. I love how he says that we need every drop of that lovely black juice to bathe their gears and fuel their engines.
That was the weirdest. Um, it was very awkward.
That's a Yeah, that's an unusual way to describe petroleum, that lovely black juice.
Give it to that lovely black juice. Oof. They even draw the clip
I could hear
on.
Terry Crews reading that line.
Give me that lovely black juice.
Like from his character from was it White Chicks?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Well, geez, I know the most from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I barely remember that scene for White Chicks. I
Oh
saw it
yeah.
once. That was enough for me. So they even drew the arm clip for the fusion cannon on Megatron's arm.
Yeah, it was Casual Friday.
Yeah, it's like he left their guns in the closet.
They
Oh,
weren't planning on fighting. They just got this one guy that wants his Jeep, and they're planning on like killing him anyway at the
oh yeah.
end.
Until
Yeah.
his usefulness is run out. Like, you know what I mean?
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly. A desire for a new Jeep, Mighty Megatron. Yeah. So the signal goes out, and the Autobots are like scanning signals, and they pick up the emergency signal from Valdez.
Yeah, the Decepticons have broken cover, they say.
Yeah.
So
Which, okay, man, there's an emergency, like there's an oil spill. I would have been like, hey, the Autobots, let's go out there and see if we can help with the oil spill. Oh no,
again, nobody notices the massive hovering
no.
oil drinking ship,
Why would you really?
right? I mean, that certainly wouldn't catch anybody's attention.
200 super tanker size would blot out part of the sun.
Oh yeah.
So here we are. So he's trying to
And the
he's trying
signal they're receiving is from the Jeep,
yeah.
which
Hounds, yeah, because
yeah.
Optimus is like, what do you mean you can't find out where they are? That pipeline is like hundreds of miles long. Where do we, you need to find this? He's like, oh wait, here we go. There's a Jeep. There's a signal coming in from Hound.
Yeah, so the Jeep, the Decepticons have traded this to this guy, they bribed him with, is Hound.
You
And
would think they
Hound
would have
hasn't
picked it
done
up.
anything this
No,
whole time. He didn't alert them to the plan ahead of time, alert the location of this massive ship, nothing. He's just like chilling.
he's doing a full on Mirage. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to Cybertron, but there's no room on the ship. Um, yeah, or whatever the
The
line.
ship was full.
The ship is full. Yeah, then so they scramble the Superjet Skyfire.
Yeah. Well, they got an alert from, Valdez where they were
Oh, yeah,
complaining about, yeah,
oil pressure.
oil pressure. And the distress call, the guy on it looks like he's like an old time radio show host,
I was
singing
wondering.
like he's singing ragtime or something
I
into the mic.
was wondering. He looks like a Frank Sinatra adjacent singer. He's got like a
Yeah.
recorder behind him. He's got that one of those hanging microphones. You're like, he's gonna sing "Fly Me to the Moon."
Yeah, that's not Walter
Dude,
Cronkite.
no, it's
That's
not.
a crooner.
It's definitely crooner. We need help at Valdez. Flow's gonna trickle. And
Don't quit your day job, kid.
thank you. I will not. Unfortunately, I can't. So yeah, the Autobots are like, oh, there's this really neat scene where uh, Prowler has this kind of half circle computer thing around him,
Yeah.
and he does not leave his weapons at home. His
Oh
missiles
no.
are like sticking straight up over the thing.
He brought the big ones out.
He did to look for a signal. So they're over stealing oil, and Prowl's just like looking for a signal with his missiles out. So
And yeah, so Skyfire shows back up and he survived re-entry from Satellite of Doom.
apparently so.
Yeah.
Maybe this is before Satellite of Doom.
Yeah. Well, the way they packaged it
Yeah.
came after,
Okay.
but I don't think there's much continuity between these stories at all.
Weird. I mean, there's so much continuity with the TV show. I mean, you would think this would at least pick up with that.
Yeah, I think we're watching interdimensional cable.
If only it were that good.
Yeah.
Um,
And Skyfire still has his null rays.
and missiles and null rays.
Yeah.
And he shoots the giant oil containing carrier
Yeah. Because
over the ice.
yeah, that's not going to have any terrible consequences.
Dude, I'm looking at there are mountains in the background of this picture. There are like cedars and firs going back for miles, and it's over this huge patch of ice, which is probably like some permafrost over some water, whatever. So
It
yeah,
looks like a Coors can, man.
it kind of does. And so the super tanker is going over this huge sheet of ice, and Skyfire is trying to shoot them out of the sky. And think about that: 200 super tankers worth of oil.
Yeah. Think what
Exxon,
one did in 89.
yeah, Exxon Valdez was one.
Yeah.
You would not have had enough Dawn blue dish detergent to wipe off all those duck feathers or whatever.
Yeah,
Penguin
all the
feathers.
birds are
Yeah,
they're
they're,
gone,
they're
man.
gone.
It's
Yes.
just gone.
Uh, believe me, man. We had the Deepwater Horizon blowout when I was down there in Florida.
Yeah.
The amount of like just tar balls showing up on the beach for months. I can't imagine what like this would have done. So
And so the Decepticons escape by activating the hyper thrust afterburners,
Yep.
but we don't know exactly like what that they are connected to. Are they part of the hovercraft? Are they an escape ship? It just he gave the order and they were gone.
Well, it also says that the super tanker was left burning on the ice.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's not the super tanker, but we have
Yeah.
no idea what the hyper thrust afterburners are attached to. Is it like
So
a backpack they put on or
I
what?
don't
I,
know.
I don't know. At
So
least we got a better description of like their mole machine last time.
it was right, we did. So keep this in mind. They escape, and there was a burning 200 super tanker capacity hovercraft thing on the ice in Alaska, just sitting
Yeah,
there burning.
just hemorrhaging petroleum all over the ice.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah,
Once again, the Autobots are not the side of green energy.
yeah,
Not that the Decepticons are in this, but they didn't jump it all over the ice.
yeah. At
Oh,
least they had it all contained.
yeah, look at that. There's a little river going by the ice here. I bet that's going to go well for the ship and all its contents.
Oh yeah, going right into the bay.
Yeah. Speaking of bays, um, so the Decepticons have eluded the righteous grasp of their Autobot pursuers. There's nothing righteous about these guys.
Yeah, there's nobody is righteous in this. Their righteousness is as filthy rags.
Yeah, exactly. They they're trying to find where they went. They're like Prime is pissed off at Prowl because he cannot find where the Decepticons have gone to. This is several days later, by the way.
He's
He,
totally micromanaging him.
he is. He's looking over his shoulder, and Prowl's like, "I could do my job easier if you weren't like hovering over me, boss." Or he calls him
Yeah,
like
Prowl
Chief.
actually told him to get off his back.
Yeah, he completely did. But Optimus Prime's like, "But Prowl, we set up this sensor." I guess like sensor
Drone.
drone thing days ago.
Yeah.
We should have an idea where they are. He's like, yeah, that's not how that works. You
Yeah.
gotta. There's a lot of area to look. So,
Optimus Prime in this case is that boss that doesn't know how anything works at the company, but he's trying to like seem like he's running things.
do you have any of those? Was that PT reports?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need you to get those done for me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's
need you
he's
to.
Lumberg.
Yeah, right.
100%. And
Bro,
then
I'm
we have
gonna need
another
you to.
mention Hound is still at work.
Yeah, once again, he's not even showing up now. Um, yeah,
Well, and Hound doesn't do anything for all the time they
no.
mention him. Hound doesn't do anything.
He shows up in one panel.
Yeah.
That's it. He stays as a Jeep too. So they're hidden in a deep ice cave. Megatron and like the he sorry, put it this way. Megatron surveyed the feverish activity in his northernmost systems development center and fuel refinery. Theirs is a cave with a UFO on legs in it. That's all I know. That's all this is
Yeah.
panel. And he's like, "Well, Soundwave, how soon will it be ready?" And I don't want any more excuses. And he's like, "Within the hour, dude, we just stole this thing from the humans too. We just fit it with a laser drill and added capacity to it." So once again, the humans have this massive underwater oil tanker thing, which
It's a UFO, or I guess
it's
a USO. But
yeah,
yeah, it's a big, I guess, submarine saucer.
which the humans have built.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, that's point one. So they have the stolen thing, and the humans haven't said anything about these huge machines being stolen. That's another point. The
Yeah, there's nothing
hover,
on the news about it or
no,
anything mentioned in the story.
you would think like the amount of work that went into that hover tanker and the amount of work that went into this underwater oil fuel or a tanker thing would have gotten some attention.
You
It
know
would
what
have,
it is? The oil company was keeping it quiet because they didn't want their stocks to tank.
yes, it's not wrong.
Okay, that's plausible.
That's plausible. Oh, well, it's just it's a quarter off our bottom line if we lose it, so just not talk about it.
It's insured.
God,
What
how
was it
much?
like? The old joke about the Death Star being insured, and the stormtroopers thought it was all just a scam. They blew it up to get the insurance money for it.
With see with so yeah, they've taken this multi-tracked, which I don't see tracks, deep sea oil transporter, and they have given it enough capacity to handle the total volume of Prudhoe Bay
Yeah.
Reservoir. Prudhoe Bay. Do you know how much that has in its oil reservoir?
How much?
25 billion barrels of oil
Wow.
with a billion. It is double the size of any other American oil reserve,
I need a slice of that.
right? Yeah, that is the biggest. It is the biggest on American soil oil field we have, and they apparently I think it was BP used to own it. They sold it to Hillcorp or something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, they used to own that and they manage it, but they sold it off at some point. But yeah, when they discovered it, 25 billion barrels of oil.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot.
that's a
And so
lot of
this,
oil.
yeah, this thing is enormous again.
Yeah, it's gonna be enough to suck Prudhoe Bay dry, the reservoir there. Which, by the way, also Prudhoe Bay is on the northern coast of Alaska. You think about the shape of Alaska, it's on the
Yeah.
top of the main part of it.
So
Yeah,
nobody lives up there.
nobody lives there. No.
Yeah.
Not that Alaska is a very well traveled and well there's not a huge population there in Alaska as it is. So yeah, that
Yeah.
is that is
Where you need to
all
use like planes to go between the cities and stuff.
that's
That's
polar
very
bears.
wilderness.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
polar bears and elephant seals and leopard seals up there. That's all that is.
Right.
Uh that's right. Penguins are in the southern hemisphere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Penguins
okay.
are they
Southern
don't go
hemisphere.
any farther north than Galapagos.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I was paying attention to my college. Um so they easily withstand the frigid temperatures and crushing pressures at the vast depths below the Arctic Ocean, which is,
So this is like the strongest vehicle ever created by man.
it looks like a V mothership,
Yeah, it does. Oh,
100%.
totally. Yeah, the designs on these vehicles are very, I'd say almost War of the Worlds.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like if you went from the book.
So they start extracting the Megatron's monster transporter clawed its way across the seabed, and they were monitored. Stanley was monitoring the computer analyzer and listened intently to the sonar probe returning its data. He's like, "This is it, Mighty Megatron. This is the perfect spot to begin drilling operations." So they're at the lowest point of the reservoir. That should, in theory, give them enough pressure to really push the oil or the crude oil, petroleum into the ship easier. So
Yeah.
I'll give Stanley this. He was actually working smarter. He's like, okay, well, if we work by gravity, this should actually work a lot easier for us.
And it's kind of weird that it looks like a flying saucer, but it crawls along the seafloor. So it's really like a giant crab, like a king crab, maybe?
Kind of is. In a way, it is kind of like the War of the World ships. You see them in the old movie. They have that kind of walker thing going on
Yeah.
with at one point. So yeah, and those are not the fish that live in the Arctic. Come on, what is that? It looks like an angelfish. That is not
Yeah.
an Arctic Ocean fish. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
got tropical fish and coral.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, try harder. But look,
Yeah.
actually, up there this one picture when they're in the ice cave, Soundwave has all his weapons and Megatron has his fusion cannon. That looks like their box art. He did that whole like sit back and like with his cannon out.
Yeah, they drew it right off the box art. Same
That is it
pose
right
and
off the box art.
everything.
Yep, that's
They're
funny.
not even looking at the ship that Megatron's complaining about.
There's a dude way down there in the bottom. There's a stairway like kind of hanging down from the bottom of it.
Hmm.
There's some dude like rappelling down or flying up to it, and there's another dude on the ground. I don't even know who this is supposed to be.
Yeah, they're
They're,
nondescript. They're way
they're
off.
the
One of them's on a scissor lift,
Yeah, he is.
or
Huh.
two of them are on a scissor lift over there. So
Yeah. So that
yeah,
these are probably the tapes or whatever.
more
Like,
of those generic guys that are not worthy of paint jobs.
yeah, so yeah, exactly. The enormous drill, the laser powered drill goes down and I guess it's got the I guess tube, the suction tube attached to it, like piggyback to it.
Yeah,
And so yeah, they
it
go
looks almost like it's in the center of the drill because there's a hole. It's like
yeah,
a big straw,
we
big
would you'd
drinking
assume it'd
straw.
be that, yeah. So yeah, the apparently the heat from this the drill, the friction of drills going through there, turning the water around there into thousands of gaseous bubbles, like the friction and the heat.
Yeah,
So they start extracting the oil, And there's this two panels that kind of goes over a lot of what's happening. And looking at it because there's an exploding volcano in one side and like some looks like Hawaii or something, some tropical island.
Yeah.
And there's the
They
White
got
House.
Krakatoa on here.
Yeah. They notice all the oil rigs, hundreds of oil rigs in the Prudhoe Bay they begin dropping oil pressure suddenly, and the Valdez terminus runs dry, and confusion turns the apprehension, and all the oil companies are like, okay, dude, something's up. But when they start emptying out the reservoir, and I don't know how this would work. You might know better than I would, being a geologist. It starts crumbling in on itself.
Well, basically, when they pump oil out
Yeah.
now, they pump water into it because oil floats on water. So you're replacing the oil in the reservoir with water, so
Mhm.
that pushes the oil out. Okay. And so when you start getting water, then you're done. You've tapped it out. Well, the Decepticons aren't using this method because it's creating a vacuum apparently in there. They're just sucking it straight out, and there's nothing replacing the oil at all. So, yeah, so basically they created a giant sinkhole.
I was going to say a 25 billion barrel sinkhole.
Yes. And apparently it's so huge that continental plates start shifting to move together, and Siberia slowly approached Alaska, and earthquakes shook the planet from pole to pole.
And because of what's going on, the West, like the USSR and the United States are looking at each other, pointing fingers, saying, you're doing this and you're doing this.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is northern Siberia is actually part of the North American plate.
So
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
have gone
the
anywhere.
North American plate actually extends into, I guess, what would be considered Northeast Asia.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah,
I, I guess it makes sense. I mean, you think about
it
it.
doesn't stop at the Bering Strait. North America goes all the way across
I'm trying to think
the plate.
of continental flow over time. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's not a active plate boundary right there where
Okay.
Asia and North America meet. It's not like the Ring of Fire or anywhere else where it's very pronounced.
Okay.
It's taken them a while to like sort it out. So it's understandable that they would think this, not being geologists, but yeah, that's actually like Siberia and all that is actually on the North American plate. It's kind of like
Oh,
how
okay.
Italy is actually on the African plate.
That makes more sense because how close it is in proximity to Africa, Northern Africa. I can
Right.
see
And
that.
the Alps, are
Oh,
actually the
yeah.
dividing line between the plates. That's because that's what you
Make,
have. You have like big mountains there.
yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Considering, we look at where our fault lines are, in North America.
Yeah. But it's easier to see them on converging plate boundaries
Yeah.
because they make mountains. So,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
As I say, like, well, you have the Appalachians, you have several smaller, I'm sure, smaller plates converging around the mountains out west and
Oh, yeah. Well, like the
yeah,
Himalayas,
Canada.
are made from the Indian subcontinent crashing
Hmm.
into Asia as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can tell you about butterflies. You want to know about those? I'll talk to you all day about those. Um,
So,
okay.
yeah, this stuff is, it's really wonky on the science and on the political spectrum because, I mean, I don't know about earthquakes, natural disasters. I don't know if that would cause like the superpowers to start threatening nukes with each other because they do. They start threatening each other with nukes
Hmm.
over like this massive earthquake that's happening, you know, and Alaska is well known for earthquakes. It's on the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
So, the,
You look how look at it is how islands come out from the end of the peninsula come out of there.
right. No one was threatening, nuclear war over like Mount St. Helens or anything
Oh
like
no.
that. So,
Well, and this is an easy trope for this time of our history. This was a time when you know even sitcoms would reference Cold War and how USSR was very they're communists and were evil
you know
because
whose fault this was? This was Matthew Broderick's fault. He's
all he
playing
wanted to do
games
is
again.
play a game. All he had to do is play tic-tac-toe.
Right.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
He didn't need to play global thermonuclear war. That's
Well,
sounds exciting, but
hopefully
should have
David
played
Wonders.
Polybius.
Yeah, hopefully David Wonders there to help. That was David Warner,
So,
right?
yeah, all Autobot eyes were on Optimus Prime. For what? For
So,
what?
so he can tell them. do something, guys. I
Yeah.
pay you
So
to
he can
work.
ask Prowl to do something. Because, yeah, he is just the ultimate micromanager. And Prowl's like the MVP. And it doesn't take much to be the Autobot MVP because these guys don't do much until stuff's already wrecked and millions are dead.
Oh, also, if you notice, Prowl, except for where his hands are, is drawn a lot like his box art too. Like his head's back, his chest is out.
Oh,
The
yeah.
pose is very box art.
They totally. I think the furthest thing from box art here is when we get this back view of Optimus Prime.
He has a little hand, a little arm.
Yeah. You gotta use my strong hand, child.
I like to stare at the mashed potatoes in
It's
my.
all about Wayans brothers today, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so they're trying to figure out what they can do, and Optimus Prime is like, Prowl, have you found him yet? Like, dude, no, our underwater sensor's still working. This is hard, man. There's ocean is a lot. We have,
Yeah.
we have a sensor down there looking for the Decepticons, and then what was it that they get they get the signal where they're at, trying to figure
Well,
out.
Prowl just keeps making excuses.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like this is like the worst office job you could
yeah.
have.
They're Prowl and Optimus Prime do not like each other in this at all.
Yeah.
Optimus
And
Prime
but
is a
they
kind
finish
of a
each
jerk.
other's sentences though, because he's like, exactly, Prowl, a gas that should force a Decepticon oil guzzler to the surface of the ocean to face dot dot dot. And then Prowl just interjects, our missiles. Like,
Yeah,
so yeah,
but
that's what you want to do, is it, this thing has, billions of barrels of oil in it, so let's shoot it in the ocean.
first of all, his Optimus Prime's big idea to help with this is shooting liquefied raison gas. I don't know if that's a real gas.
I've never heard of raison
Yeah,
gas
so I
before.
thought it was a funny sounding. You're gonna shoot raison gas to fill a 25 billion capacity oil reserve, and they've got like I don't know 20 or 30 canisters on the wall.
Yeah, like that's gonna make a dent.
What? What?
Yeah.
So yeah, apparently this works.
Well, and considering it's, at the bottom of the ocean, so
Yep.
the gases would be compressed anyway by that point. So,
But he's
like I said, science is real wonky at this point. And
but
Optimus
he
actually comes up with this plan. Like
yes.
Prowl, the strategist, his function, strategist, has nothing on this part. So
And
he's
yeah.
losing his MVP status at this point.
They're bad for each other. But actually
Yeah.
you look at it this way, he's using the same idea as you were pointing out for water in the reservoirs
Right. But
with the
they
raison
use it
gas.
in the ship instead of, the
Yeah.
reservoir. I think they
So
did this in a Donald Duck comic book one time where they filled a ship full of ping pong balls to make it float to the top.
that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, they start rising and like Megatron's yelling at Soundwave to do something. It's like, I'm trying, Master, I'm trying, but like, we're floating, man. And
When I read these guys talking,
yeah.
I just think of like Nandor and Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows. I'm trying, Master. I'm trying.
Do something.
Do
I'm trying,
something.
Master, I'm
Yeah.
trying. Surface in 5 seconds, Master. You blundering tape-filled idiot.
Yeah. See, I mean, it just
Yeah, it lends itself so well to that.
it's kind of that level of comedy too, the unintentional comedy.
Reasons are excuses. I want results. We've surfaced
You
now,
sound kind of like
mighty.
Beast Wars Ravage there.
We've surfaced now, mighty Nandor. Anyways,
Right.
yeah, they
Yeah,
run.
he calls Megatron Master a lot.
He does. This is very toxic relationship, guys.
Yeah.
But then again, this is almost like a comedy duo. They're a bad comedy duo.
Oh yeah, they're like Laurel and Hardy,
They
and
really are as villains.
yeah, they're it's, the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself, Soundwave. You don't let him sit there and call you a blundering tape-filled idiot.
So, Optimus
Ed
Prime,
would not like this part.
no. The
You're doing
Egyptian
his boy
lover,
Soundwave wrong.
Egyptian lover's not doing well. He would have hated the
Yeah.
voice anyways.
Oh
So
yeah.
Optimus Prime waited for Megatron to make his move, but there was only silence from the floating oil transporter. The floating oil transporter, full of 25 billion gallons of oil.
Yeah.
However, an Autobot boarding party encountered time delay, booby trap attached to the deck hatchway when it went off. Two members of the boarding party were sent back to visit Ratchet for repairs. That was it should have been like those two members died, but we didn't do that in this book.
Yeah.
Um, the Decepticon commanding module is gone. This is almost like Dr. Evil, but if you had number one with him and he shot out in like the big boy statue, it's kind of what this is. They escaped for it to elude fate for another day.
Yeah. Now on the video, I want to say it looked like it was Sideswipe and Red Alert that got damaged.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, across the idling computer monitor, the voice readout kept repeating, "A Decepticon universe is at hand." Dot dot dot. A Decepticon universe is at hand. That was actually the most. That was the coolest part of this entire thing. It's like you're gonna see what we're doing. Yeah, that was the best part of this entire story. It
The
was very
end.
menacing.
Yes, the end is definitely the best part of this story.
Yeah, it's over. The battle continues.
Yeah,
Uh,
with the sinking oil-filled spaceship that's even the way the water's colored, it looks like there's an oil slick on it.
there's
So,
an oil slick. I was looking at that. There's definitely an oil slick. You can see the division between the grayish blue water and there's like this greenish black
yeah.
film. Oh man.
Thanks, Autobots. Thanks.
So the Exxon Valdez, was that just a false flag to cover up for the Autobots?
I don't know because Exxon Valdez was a drop in the bucket compared to
Oh yeah. So they
the
not
the
only,
double
yeah,
mess they've done. They've wrecked Alaska's coastline.
they
Period.
they destroyed 200 super tankers worth of oil all over the ice in Alaska, and then they bring up the entire capacity of Prudhoe Bay Reservoir to the surface of the water to start leaking out.
Yeah. No
Man,
mention. Oh, did they even say that they clean it up or anything?
no,
Or
no, it's
yeah,
just there. They leave it
yeah.
there. A couple of us get hurt, and all right, well, I guess the Decepticons are gonna be back.
These riders weren't worried about all that hippie crap.
No. Oh God, this is a bad story.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure as a kid you thought it was all right,
oh
you
yeah.
know, but looking at it with any kind of education, you're like, man, this is all terrible. This is,
You and your hippie outlook. This is terrible. This is America.
yeah,
Um,
this is, oh no, we don't waste oil here. That's the real tragedy right there.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
USD going down the drink,
So, we also. Oh God, there's also all the snow crabs. We can't have this happen, man.
right?
Oh
There goes
no.
seafood.
Seafood industry's done.
Yeah, Red Lobster is gonna tank. They can't float this on their cheddar biscuits.
I don't know, man. Those are good.
Yeah,
So yeah, I had to read this though at the end. There's a you can order your own catalog and there's this all these different records and tapes you can order. There's like
yeah,
Garfield, cool. Pac-Man, okay. Bugs Bunny, Looney Tunes, Raggedy Ann and Andy, Benji, Masters of the Universe, Space Shuttle Columbia. I have to imagine that's just like a science book, like
oh
things.
yeah.
2001: A Space Odyssey, dude. I don't know if there's enough tape or record room for that story.
Well, do you really want to put the Space Shuttle Columbia next to, HAL 9000 there?
No,
I mean,
no, I
yeah.
don't. I don't put anyone next to HAL 9000. By the way, we just watched it recently. My wife had never seen it before,
Hmm.
and she had a few substances, and she was like, "This is the best movie ever." I'm like, "Wow, I've never heard that out of someone." I was trying to explain to her the concept of the monolith. It's
And it fit the time period too, because the people that watched it when it first came out were probably on a lot of substances.
yeah, but yeah. So the idea that I was trying to explain to her what the monolith symbolized. I
Hmm.
had a very burnout hippie English teacher back in the seventh grade
Hmm.
who talked about the monolith all the time. He loved the concept of the monolith. Monolith being, it's like it's a story device is all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is,
I bet he liked Laser Floyd and Fantasia Revival too.
dude. You knew he did.
Did he spray
Yeah,
paint Proto Lives on like subway walls and stuff too?
yeah. So also you have Knight Rider Berenstain Bears, not Steen, but everyone, by the way, it's there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's with the A.
Yes. Care Bears, My Little
That's what they
Pony.
want you to think.
Uh, the deep state has fooled you all.
Yes.
My Little Pony, Mr. Potato Head, Ronald McDonald. I,
Versus Rocky. Oh wait, no, that's a separate one.
dude, I'd find the book right now. Rocky,
Right?
Flash Gordon. That's kind of cool. Atari, just Atari.
And just Atari.
It's just Atari. You have Pac-Man over there, but
There's
then
no
you just got
ColecoVision book for
no.
the record. I'll tell you that, mister.
Yeah. Strawberry Shortcake, sure.
And
Chipmunks.
Friends, that one like took over two columns.
Oh, it did. Oh, I see it in Friends. I thought it was the next column.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
Ch-
yeah, could that be Barbie and Friends? I don't think so because it's like online with
mm,
the
I don't know. Maybe the
I think it's
Chipmunks
Strawberry Shortcake and Friends.
could be the Dukes
Yeah.
of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Now that has become a show that I kind of like look back on now, thinking like, was Hazard County a sundown county?
Oh, you know it was.
Yeah, yeah. Now knowing what we know now,
Why did you think that the cops in Chickasaw County were so mad at him all the time?
yeah. Donkey Kong, G.I. Joe, James Bond, 007, Pink Panther, Poochie.
Poochie.
Is that the little like? It was like a little it was a dog. It was like I'm trying to think of the kind of dog it was. Really
I think it was like a
fancy
little brown, like Cocker Spaniel looking
Cocker
dog.
Spaniel. I remember
Yeah.
that. Vaguely remember that. Transformers.
I remember the jingle for it. It was like Poochie, Poochie's for girls, something like that.
What if a boy likes a Cocker Spaniel?
Well, then you can't have Poochie because Poochie is for girls. You're gonna have to just settle for a Monchichi instead.
Oh my God, Monchiji. Oh man. Well, everyone, if you listen to this when it comes out, have a very happy new year. Be careful out there, and if you drink too much tainted energon, make sure you find a place to rest.
Don't drink so much that you cause the continents to collapse like the Decepticons did. That's the real lesson here.
And don't take any drink from a Primzeek. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And knowing is half the battle.
And stay off the raison gas, kids.
Especially 25 billion barrels worth. Oh God, this
This
was
was fun. This was
yeah,
fun.
this was
I
so
mean,
bad. It was fun.
we're not getting Shakespeare out of these books,
No,
so.
no, but we did get some very badly aged events. At least out of
Well,
the Transformers one.
eh, a little prophetic, honestly. Just a
It
little bit.
was.
Yeah.
Valdez it got named Valdez, and then
Yeah.
these two major ecological problems
Disasters.
happen. Yeah, these are
Yeah.
the other disasters. I mean, wow.
Oh, these would be mega disasters now. If we had anything like this happen now, it would be just ridiculously bad.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I don't even know how. I can't even put into words. I can't
We've
fathom
never
how bad
seen
this could be.
anything as bad as these two by themselves. We haven't
Yeah.
seen anything this bad. Now
Oh God,
combined,
the first one, yeah, the first one
yeah,
alone. But you bring out the entire bit of Prudhoe Bay Reservoir. By the way, they never put it back. It stayed out.
yeah, it's gone. You're not putting that genie back in.
Good job, Megatron. Like, you can't conquer Earth when there's no Earth to conquer
Yeah.
because yeah, the entire crust and falls into itself in that area. That
Well,
plate.
the Deepwater Horizon spill was only like 3.2 million barrels.
Yeah,
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 and that's nothing compared to what was in the UFO thing, USO, I guess. But
dude. So keep that in mind, kids. Whenever you decide sucking oil out of the ocean floor, make sure you put water in behind it.
yeah, put something in to replace it. You
Yeah,
can't just
we
use
know
your
you
paper straws.
we know you got all your cool toys for Christmas. So when you plug that drill into the ocean floor and start consuming all the oil in the ocean floor, remember this lesson
Yeah, because
that
we're 40 years in the future. Everybody should have one of these giant like USOs. Because
I mean, I took mine to the thrift store because Goodwill they may get something out of it. I didn't use mine. I got it.
yeah,
It was
we're like
whatever.
cruising around in the bay, pulling the banana boat.
Yeah, why not?
Jaws trying to eat the kids on the banana boat.
The good memories things.
Yes.
Those are things I always cherish, especially the pictures when they fell off. I saw the fin go behind them. Well, good
Michael Caine
memories.
saving everybody.
Get in the boat. There, I actually. So in Jaws of Revenge, the guy who was in it, he was he was in the last Starfighter. I'm trying to think of his name, Lance Guest.
Yeah.
There's this apparently the story where they were in this like in this boat, and massive batteries and stuff in there for like filming, like they had like they had like the camera crews and stuff out there, and apparently they started taking on water. And I'm gonna edit this because I can't say this on this podcast. Like they're like start going under, and he gets grabbed by someone. Get the F in the boat, yeah. It was basically Michael Caine saved his life, or thought he was saving his life because I guess he thought maybe the battery was going to kill him or something. But yeah,
Hmm.
they pulled him out of the boat. And Michael Caine does not hold back the F bombs when he does things like that. So I would have liked that. That would have been the best scene, you know. Anyways, Alex Brody, you live fight on another day, Starfighter, because of was it Alex Brody?
That, well, you kind of mixed them, I think. Was he Alex Brody?
No, it wasn't Alex Brody. It was Alex.
Because he was Alex in The Last Starfighter.
Yeah, but obviously be a Brody and yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Good enough. Okay, so anyways, y'all have a great week. Have a great New Year's Eve. Be careful out there and give us a little thumbs up on the whatever you're listening to, YouTube. And if you are listening to audio, we put these on YouTube with screenshots so you can kind of see what we're talking about. And you can
Pretty
see
pictures.
yeah, you can see Boo's lovely face and his really nice dapper outfit.
Oh,
So
yes. Got my, it's a black tie event.
yeah, you can see my progressively nappier beard every week. Y'all have a great week and enjoy it and talk to y'all later. Boo, take us out of here.
Bye. Happy New
Bye.
Year.
Thanks.